Yeah.
Because, I mean, there are a lot of clients you work for when you're like, these guys are driving me nuts.
But you've taken some like bad ones too, right?
Yeah, we take everybody, and
Yeah.
we try. Man, I've dealt with some really difficult people, and we keep just trying to make it work, you know. And people are like, I'm not going to name any names, but people are like, how can you stand her at him, or how can you stand her? And I'm like, man, you just got to try and understand what they're
What
after.
makes them tick, what they
Right,
want.
right. And honestly,
So that's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and I mean, you know, the thing is, it's just like nothing bad's gonna happen. You know, the worst that happens is they say no,
Yeah.
and they're gonna, like 9 out of 10 are gonna say no matter what. But then one of them might say, hey, well, here's what I'm trying to do, or here's what I'm not getting from the people I need it from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then the other thing I gotta talk about is kind of presentation. So when I started this, I was playing in a band. I had crazy hair, man. I wore crazy clothes. And when I started doing this as a business, I thought, okay, let me put myself in the mindset of a client. And the guy who I thought of was your boss, Roger Penske. Because back then, you couldn't even have a beard and be on his team. He was a button-down guy. Yeah, 100%. But
There's
you know,
a lot of people who still think that today.
yeah, and the thing is, it's
Not
like,
that, not
yeah,
that.
and the thing is, not every, I mean, now everybody's got a beard, you know? But back then, it was a little
Yeah.
more rare. But it was like he had a definite thing he wanted. So I thought to myself, I need to be able to talk to these guys. And if I go up there looking like my normal fool self, they're gonna be like, who is this idiot? I mean, I knew this guy. He used to come to the track wearing sweats and like some like drag racing cartoon T-shirt, and then he'd have lunch and he'd drip ketchup and mustard all over himself. I mean, he was a slob. So anyway, so I started wearing these shirts to the racetrack.
That is your signature outfit.
And I have been wearing these white shirts like pretty much every day for 30 years.
That's true.
Never
Never
the
seen
Yeah.
outfit's pretty good. I like it.
It's all right, you know.
How many
It's,
of those
it's
do you
pretty
own?
basic. I got about
Around
30 of them right
Okay.
now. Yeah. I got enough where I can take off on a 3-week trip
And still have
and
them.
still have a few at home.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So it's little stuff like that, you know, thinking about what the client wants. And now, like this wouldn't be as important now as it was then, but also you're out in the sun all day. It keeps the sun off your arms, keeps the sun off your neck. Your credential isn't going on your neck all day. You know what I mean? So there's some practicality to it too. But it's little stuff like that, trying to figure out what the clients are going to be after. Because it's the way that I used to say it is that when I walk up to Roger Penske, I don't want him being embarrassed to be seen talking to me. And that's part of it too. There's all these crazy factors to this thing that all kind of go together. And you know, not one of them's not going to kill you, but you know, one of them might make it happen for you. You know, because I'll tell you what, I meet kids. And I'm like, if I meet someone who I like them, and I like their attitude, and I like their like the, what's the word I'm looking for? The vibe. Yeah.
Moxie.
I'm like, I will go out of my way to help. Even if I can't hire them, I'll go out of my way to help them. And all over racing, there are a bunch of kids who don't work for me, who I basically was their like first mentor to get them started. Because if you find the right person, they can cut through all the, you don't have to learn all the BS yourself, because they're gonna get you past that and let you know what's really going on. So,
Good point.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, look at your notes.
I have questions written down.
So
That's
organized.
awesome. That's awesome. These
Um,
guys interviewed Will a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really? How was that?
Yeah, it's good.
it was intense. Well, no, it was intense when we got in the room because, like, you know, everybody seemed to already know they was doing it. Then I was kind of sitting there, but then when I finally got there and I started talking, you know, it was kind of like a relaxed thing.
Yeah.
Okay, my questions.
Yes.
Have you ever had any technical malfunction, so with your camera, or like something isn't producing either mid-race, after the race, or when you're going to develop, and how did you handle it? Especially
Okay, that's a great question. All right, so here's the deal. When I travel now, I've always got 2 camera bodies, I've always got 2 flashes, and I've got lenses that kind of overlap. So like this is a 24 to 105 lens.
Oh, Lord.
So it's kind of in the middle. It can be kind of like a little bit of a long lens and a little bit of a wide lens. So like if you're at the podium and you need a 70 to 200 and it breaks, well, this'll stand in for it.
Still be
So I
okay.
try and have a little bit of extra stuff. So even if one of my bodies dies, the other one's still good. And then the other thing is if you're nice to your friends, they will come to your rescue. So I showed up in Brazil one time, and there was a tornado in Atlanta, and my bags ended up in Atlanta because Delta got all screwed up, and I ended up in Brazil with no cameras. And some of my friends gave me a camera and a lens that basically would cover everything, and I did the first 2 days of the races with that. The other thing that's interesting is that we depend on the internet to deliver stuff. So we, like when you go to the Detroit Grand Prix, there is always great internet there.
Amazing.
Go some of these other races, not so much.
Yeah, middle of nowhere places.
Right, like Thermal we had a race, 2 weeks ago? Internet was kind of going on and off. So what I have always done is we carry portable like Verizon.
Hotspot, right?
Jetpacks, yeah, the hotspots. So we carry a lot of Verizon hotspots, but I also have AT&T and I also have T-Mobile. So hopefully between those 4 things, you can get one of them to work. So that's because like there have been times like there was a race at Michigan Speedway where their internet broke. So we left the track. I'm sitting in the passenger seat of the car editing photos and sending them on Verizon while we're sitting in a traffic jam on I-94 because, I mean, if something goes wrong, your clients don't want to hear a story.
Right.
They want their stuff. So it's your job to make sure that,
Job gets done.
right, and if you screw something up, you try not to screw anything up, but if you do, that's where your friends come in. So like the guys who work for the Indy Speedway, we have saved them 50 times and they have saved me 50 times, So it's kind of like if you're a good human, you know that you've got like backups in place. So even if
I will say, like, for working in the sport, photographers, you guys stick together. Like
most of us do.
Yeah.
There's
But I mean,
some bad
like,
apples
you
too,
wouldn't
but
see that
Oh.
in like TV as much or print as much.
Probably not. Yeah.
But I mean, like, you guys, it's a pack, right? You
Well,
guys
it's
kinda look out for
because
each
we also know that there's a lot that can go wrong.
other. Right.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just like you can miss something. So I'll give you a perfect example. Like when we're at the podium, I may be finished with everything I need, but I'll stand there and I'll take a picture of everything just in case, like Owens, who's the Indy guy, like if something goes wrong with his camera or his memory card dies or something, I'll back him up just in case, even though I don't need those pictures, just knowing that if he had to come to me or if I had to come to him, I'd be happy if he did it.
Yeah,
So
it's cool.
stuff like that, Yes.
Okay, Mike. Well, I have 2 more.
No, good.
Oh no, I have 3 more.
Okay.
Was there a race that you hated to take pictures at? Like, you went to the race, you were ready to take pictures, then you got there, you was like, this is not gonna work. Then you tried the first and the second day, it didn't work still, and you were
Yeah.
just like over it.
Well, I mean, yes
Good
and no.
questions, man.
These are really good. Usually, the racetrack is sometimes you go and they like won't let you go places. I'm trying to think of a good example of that.
Don't get access to me.
Yeah, you don't get access.
Did you have problems in Toronto?
Yeah, perfect example. So you go there and there's supposed to be, holes to stick your lens through so you can see the cars.
Bless you.
And it's funny because it drives you nuts because there aren't any. So what you have to do is you have to look around. You have to climb up on top of this thing or shoot through that little gap or there's a little break in the wall or something like that. So honestly,
Again, you're gonna get the job done. even
right,
if
you're
it's-
disappointed because the pictures are not as good as they might have been. But on the other hand, you're happy because you're managing to get something for your clients. And again, they don't want to hear the story. They want to just get the picture.
Yeah.
And they don't care how many holes there were, how screwed up things were, that the internet didn't work. They just want their stuff. So the crazy thing is when things get bad, that's on a beautiful sunny day with great photo. Like I'll go to a track and I'll pick all the photo holes. So basically, everybody who shoots at the track is shooting pictures that I like picked. And if you just go and pick the pictures that I picked, you're gonna get good pictures, right?
Right.
So when things get bad, that's what really separates the great photographers from the ones that aren't as great. Because the great
Figure
ones
out a
will
way.
come back with cool stuff no matter what. They will figure out, they'll keep on pushing, figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah,
So that's a great
it
question.
is.
Yeah. And honestly, that's fun.
Mm.
So sometimes the bad weekends are more fun than the good
More
ones.
rewarding,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my 2 more. What's your favorite camera from back when you first started, and then up to what's your favorite camera now?
Okay. That's a tricky one. So I started out on Nikon. And I like Nikon.